Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Minutia. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany. Today I want to do something kind of fun that I saw a booktuber friend do. So I saw this over on Hicks Picks Books. Becca did a book scavenger hunt, and I think that she got this idea from Chantel at An Intentional Life, so I'll go ahead and link both of their channels in the description below so you can go check them out because they're both amazing. But anyways, basically she designed this book scavenger hunt to help you pick a book for your TBR. So I thought it'd be fun to pick a book for my April TBR using this book scavenger hunt. So basically the way that this works is you start with a certain prompt, and then I have a mug here. It's my Michael Scott Paper Company mug. Actually, it's technically my husband's mug, but I borrowed it because there's lots of room in it. I have all the other prompts in here. So basically the first book I will pick according to this first prompt, and then I pick the next prompt out, which will help me pick the next book. The very last book that I choose will be the book that goes on my April TBR. It will be up and down and all around, much like my Do I Have That Book challenge that I did. I mentioned in that challenge that the lighting is much better here, but these are all middle grade books, which doesn't mean that I won't read any of them, but I've read a lot of them already, so probably won't pick a middle grade book for my actual TBR. So all of my books are out in like the living room and my bedroom and stuff, so I'll kind of be all over the place because we have bookshelves in almost every room of our house, actually. So we'll go ahead and get started with the very first prompt, and it's a spine that is your favorite color. Actually, I have a couple different favorite colors. I like yellow and dark purple and like Tiffany blue, which I realize is really fitting because my name is Tiffany. Anyways, so the book that I found for that is Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, and actually this would probably be a good one to pick in general because I actually haven't read this, which is surprising. I've read a lot of C.S. Lewis books, but never read this one, and this is probably, other than Chronicles of Narnia, like the book he's the most famous for. So that's that prompt. We'll pick the next one. The next one says the last digit of the final page number in this book is the number of words in the title of your next book. So let's see, how many pages are in here? 225, so the last digit is 5, so I need to find a book title that has 5 words in it. I'm gonna cheat because it's right behind me. I chose Shouldn't You Be in School by Lemony Snicket. This is book 3 of the All the Wrong Questions series, and this is really funny. I actually really recommend this. I read this before my daughter did. My daughter has read them also, but it's just really witty and funny and has a lot of literary references in it. So that's a win-win. Okay, the next prompt says a book that is bigger. So a book that's bigger than this one. I'm sure I can find some. Okay. I did not have to go this hard, but I went with this collection of Jane Austen novels. It's got 7, so it's not only bigger this way, but bigger that way. So I figured go big or go home. I got this at Barnes & Noble, by the way, in case anyone is wondering about this specific edition. Okay, next prompt. It says go to page 35, line 7. The next book title must contain one of the words from that line. Okay, page 37. Line 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About the garden and going all over the house. So I could probably, I could go real easy and do the, which is in like most book titles. But maybe I'll challenge myself and see if I can do about garden or house. Okay, for that one, I went with Anne's House of Dreams, so house was right in the title. Next prompt. The first letter of the title is the first letter of the next author's name. So the first letter of the title is A. So I don't know if that means it has to be the author's last name or first name. So, guess it depends on who you ask. Okay, so I went with Louisa May Alcott's Joe's Boys. I love this edition. I think it's so cute. I could have done another Jane Austen, but I figured I already did that. So go with something different. So Louisa May Alcott's. The next prompt says, flip to a page. The first letter of the first name that you read on that page is the first letter of the title of the next book. That was not a good page to flip to. It's only pictures. We'll do this one. Joe. So that's not really surprising, is it? So my next book needs to start with the letter J. Let's see what I can find. Okay, so for J, I went for Just Ella. I just recently read this book. It's in my March mid-month wrap-up, so I'll link that video so you can see what I thought of it. But this is a Cinderella retelling that takes place after the princess found Ella and she's now living in the castle. So it was a really good one. I liked it a lot. Okay. The next one says, the cover's the same color. So this is kind of like grayish. So let's see if I can find a gray book. Okay, so for a gray book, I chose A Gentleman in Moscow. I read this book last year and I really loved it. So I was super excited when I found it at a thrift store for like $1 because it's like a hardcover edition. So apparently someone didn't really like this book, which I can kind of understand because it is literary fiction. It's not plot-based at all. It's about this guy who is part of like a political uprising and as a result is sentenced to house arrest for the rest of his life, and he lives in a hotel. So it's about his like relationships with people, and yeah, it's very character based, but I thought it was really well written, very insightful, and parts of it are really clever as well. So it's very quotable. I enjoyed it. So based on that one, I have a book reviewed or blurbed by the same person. So there's a bunch of blurbs on the back. We've got Washington Post, New York Times Book Review, Oprah Magazine, Wall Street Journal, Miami Herald, San Francisco Chronicle. So we'll see if I can find a book. I have a lot of books that are like classics and stuff, so I don't know if they'll have blurbs on them. So we will see if I can find a book with a blurb from one of these things. Okay, that was harder than I thought it would be because I don't have a lot of books that have blurbs on them. But Last Child in the Woods is also blurbed by Washington Post, just like A Gentleman in Moscow. So this is a book that I want to read at some point this year, so kind of a bummer it didn't end up being my last one. I still have a couple prompts left. So, next prompt. Okay, it says a picture on the cover needs to be a word in the title of the next book. So the picture on the cover has a child, frog, I guess you could count like eye, nose, mouth, finger, any of those. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I went with Glow Kids by Nicholas Carteras. This is basically like a parenting book about how screens and technology is like harming our children. Well, it's more about, yeah, like screen addictions and stuff. So these are both books that I have that I've wanted to read and haven't read yet. So, but neither of them are the ones I'm going to read. I have one prompt left, so whatever book that I pick with this prompt will be the book that goes on my TBR. So it says, open the book to any page. The first word you read needs to be in the title of the next book. Thing. Okay, hang on. Okay, so we are going with All Things Wise and Wonderful. I know the word was technically thing, but this is a book that I've been wanting to read for a while anyway, so this is it. This is book 3 in James Herriot's series. The first one being All Creatures Great and Small, and the second one being All Things Bright and Beautiful, I think. And then there's this one, and then the last one is The Lord God Made Them All. So book 3 I haven't read yet, and I have really been looking forward to reading it, and I think it's really gonna be a good springtime read. So the really fun thing about doing the scavenger hunt is I could do this a bunch of times, and if you're mixing up the prompts in a mug and picking them out, you're going to end up with different results every single time. So if you use this book scavenger hunt to pick the next book on your TBR, please let me know, and let me know what book you ended up picking. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and also subscribe, and I will see you again next time.